Hey, it's Ryan from simplybetterpiano.com, and today I'm doing an introduction to the piano keyboard. What are all those notes? What are the black keys? What are the white keys? Let's take a look. So the piano has white keys and black keys, right? And the black keys are in this repeating pattern of two black keys, then three black keys, then two, then three, then two, then three, all the way up and down the piano. And that helps us to know where we're at on the piano. That helps us to know which white key we're playing. And speaking of the white keys are named after the first 7 letters of the alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Those are the 7 letters that are used to name notes in music. And those are the names of the white keys. So for instance, if I start on this white key, if I find the 3 black keys and this white key that's just tucked in between the top 2 black keys, this is an A. And if I play the next white key, it's a B, then C, D, E, F, G. And then the next note is actually not an H, but it's actually an A again. You see that? How it's the same as the note we started on in relationship to these 3 black keys? So it just repeats over and over. Here's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then A again. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way up and down the piano. So what about the black keys? Before we talk about black keys, let's talk about half steps. A half step is the smallest distance between any 2 notes on the piano. So for instance, if I start on a C here and I go up a half step, instead of going to the next white key, I will go to this black key, because these 2 keys are as close together as they can be. There are no other notes in between. So we know that those are a half step apart. And similarly, if I go down from C, I will go to this white key because these are actually the closest they can be. There are no other notes in between. So that's what a half step is. It is the smallest distance between any 2 notes. And there is a symbol that indicates that I should move up a half step from a white key, and that is a sharp symbol. So let's say I'm playing this C, and I notice it's actually not a C on the music, it's actually a C sharp. Well, instead of playing this white key, this C, I will play the note that is up a half step, this C sharp. And in the same way, if I have this G here, and instead of it being a G, I put a sharp on it, and now it's a G sharp, I will then actually play the note that is up a half step. And you can actually move up a half step to a white key, right? So if I have an E here, and instead of it being an E, we put a sharp on it and make it an E sharp, I will actually play this white key. This white key is normally called F, but sometimes it's called E sharp as well. There is also a symbol that tells us to move a note down a half step, and that symbol is a flat symbol. So if I have a D here, and instead of a D I play a D flat, I'm going to move down a half step and play this black key. Or if I play an A here, if I put a flat on it, instead of playing this white key, I will move it down a half step, and now it is an A flat. So a sharp moves a note up a half step, and a flat moves a note down a half step. Now, here's where it gets interesting. A black key can actually be either a sharp or a flat. For instance, this key right here could be either a C sharp, it's a half step up from C, or it could also be a D flat, it's a half step down from D. Same thing with this black key. This black key could be either a G sharp, it's a half step up from G, or it could be an A flat, it's a half step down from A. And it really depends on the context of the piece that you're playing and the context of how the music is written, whether we call a note a sharp or a flat. A third symbol you will see is a natural symbol, and a natural symbol always cancels out a flat or a sharp depending on the case and returns a note back to its white key position. So if I have an A that's been flatted and it says A flat, and then later in the music I see an A natural, it will mean to bring it back up to A. A natural is always a white key on the piano. So if I play an A, I could actually call it an A natural, or a B natural, or a C natural. So you might hear me say those things if I refer to flats and sharps and the naturals. A natural is always the white key version of any letter, of any musical note. Now let's talk about keys. A musical key is a group of notes that all go together. sometimes a mix of natural notes and sharp notes, sometimes a mix of natural notes and flat notes, sometimes it's all natural notes. But they are all notes that all go together that sound good to our ear. So for instance, let's take a look at the key of C, the key of C major. If we start on C and we just play all natural notes, all white keys moving up the keyboard, we have all the notes that are in the key of C. C has no sharps and no flats. It's all just natural notes. And when you play all the notes of a key together, especially in order like that, that's what we call the scale. This is a C major scale, going up and coming back down. Now, let's take a look at another key. Let's look at the key of G. G actually has one sharp, and that sharp is F sharp. So as we play the key of G, and we move up the keyboard, instead of playing F, we're going to play F sharp instead. We substitute the F sharp for the F. One more time, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. And that is the G major scale. Now what about, let's say, the key of E major? We start on E. Now E major has 4 sharps, F, C, G, and D. So if we start on E, instead of playing F, we're going to play F sharp instead. And instead of playing G, we play G sharp. Now it does have A natural and B natural, but C is also a C sharp and D is also a D sharp. And back up to E at the top. So if we start on E, we play E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, and E. So we know that those are the notes that go together in the key of E. So if I'm playing piano with a group of people and I say, what key are you playing in? And they say, we're playing in E. I know that most likely I'm going to be playing the notes of the E scale because I'm playing in the key of E. Now sometimes there are notes that dip in and out of the scale. We might borrow notes from other scales as we play, and those always sound interesting and make the music more interesting, but it's always good to know what the basic notes of the scale you're playing in are. So there you have it, white keys, black keys, first 7 letters of the alphabet, sharp, flat, natural symbol, and we even talked about keys a little bit. If you are interested in getting better at playing piano and playing chords on the piano especially, you'll want to check out my free PDF. It's my Quick Start Chord Guide. It has step-by-step instructions for how to play the 5 most common types of chords on the piano, and you can find that at simplybetterpiano.com/guide. Download it, check it out. I'd love to hear if it's helpful to you. Come back here, leave a comment, and if this video has been helpful to you, please let me know. Leave a comment and let me know if this has been helpful to you. And if there's anything about piano playing that's confusing, or if you have any questions about how to play piano better, let me know that in the comments as well. I'll try to get back to you in there, or maybe even make a video about it in the future. Otherwise, that's it for me today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at the next video.